Yo, what's up, guys? Today is the final day of the Chicago Bulls training camp. I believe they've been doing individual workouts because of everything going around. And I saw tomorrow the Chicago Bulls are supposed to start group workouts. So I'll definitely have a video out tomorrow covering that. Hopefully they post some highlights or something like that, or I can find some. But either way, definitely check out my last video if you missed it. YouTube didn't send out notifications or something. I saw a bunch of you guys saying. So definitely check out that video. It had a lot of Bulls news in it. And today in training camp, the first Bulls player to talk to the media was Thaddeus Young. You know, Thaddeus Young said he appreciates how involved the Bulls' new front office is. You know, Arcidiacono and Mark Eversley have been with the Bulls players early on, you know, trying to make good relationships and just learning about them and trying to create a bond. And I saw all over the media today that Thad Young said that Arcidiacono and Mark Eversley even lift with the players sometimes. You know, I have a quick little video of Thad Young talking about that, so I'm going to throw that up right now.
What I like about them is that, you know, they're fully in it with us, you know, as a organization, as a franchise, but in it with us as far as coming to practice, hanging out with us in the training room, talking to us. You know, sometimes Mark and Arcidiacono are in there lifting sometimes. You know, just they're very different from, you know, most of the guys in the front office. They actually are around the team and they kind of hang out with us and we have conversations all the time. We're able to sit there and talk with them and joke with them a lot and build their relationship. That's what I like about it.
And then Thad Young continued talking about Arcidiacono and Mark Eversley, and he said they just want to make this franchise better and they want to get it right on the first go-around. They're fully in it with us as far as coming to practice, hanging out in the training room. They're very different from most guys in a front office. You know, that is great to hear from an NBA veteran. You know, Thad Young has been in the NBA for 14 or 15 years now, and he's seen a lot of front offices. I've seen him talk about, you know, in Philly, they had 7 different new front offices, head coaches, and all that. So he definitely knows what's good, what's bad. So for Thad Young to say that, and just to hear that Mark Eversley and Arcidiacono are playing, training with the guys, lifting weights, hanging out in the training room, that's just great to hear. You know, that makes me really happy. And then Thaddeus Young talked about Patrick Williams, and he said, I've had a lot of rookies in my years, you know, 14 years now in the NBA. He's been great so far. He learns, he listens, he comes to work each and every day so far, but you can see it in him. You can see he wants it. You know, you love to hear that. You know, I love the Patrick Williams pick now. You know, I wasn't high on it at first, I'm going to be honest, but the more research and everything I hear about, everyone just raving about this kid makes me really excited for the Bulls' future. And the Chicago Bulls players love Patrick Williams. You know, Otto Porter Jr. said he's an unbelievable talent. You know, Thomas Satoransky called him a great defender already. Wendell Jr. said he's very versatile and fantastic on defense. You know, definitely check out my last video. Patrick Williams was talking about him and Wendell. You know, they're going to be a scary duo. They're both very versatile on the defensive end and even offensive end. I'm really high on the duo, those two, and the chemistry they're going to work on and create. You know, Coby White also said he's super talented, and Lauri Markkanen said he can do a little bit of everything. And speaking of Lauri Markkanen, you know, he also talked more on Patrick Williams, and he said, I think he can be really good. I've seen how he can play defense and how physically he is for a 19-year-old. You know, you'd love to hear that. Most 18-year-olds or 19-year-old NBA rookies are scared or small, but Patrick Williams, he is fit, he is jacked, he is in shape. You know, he is NBA ready. You know, Lauri Markkanen also said, I wish I was like that at 19. He can do a little bit of everything. So you just love to hear that. Nothing but positivity about the Bulls talking about him. And Thaddeus Young also said for a 19-year-old, he has some of the biggest hands I have ever seen. I definitely think he is going to be in the league for a long time. You know, nothing but positivity. It just makes me happy. And Thaddeus Young also said Arcidiacono and Mark Eversley bring a winning attitude, you know, an attitude that we need every day. And he also said Billy Donovan has done a great job as well. You know, you love to hear that. Say the Bulls don't make the playoffs, you know, the East has gotten better this offseason. No matter what, the Bulls have to have a winning attitude and just a winning culture going into the season. You know, I felt like last season we just didn't have that edge that we needed. And then, you know, Daniel Gafford talked to the media. I'm really high on this kid. You know, he had a solid season last year. I'm pretty sure he didn't play that many games. You know, Jim Boylen and him kind of got into it. He talked about that too. I'm going to get into that later. But either way, Daniel Gafford talked about this season coming up, and he said, just want to build on top of what I did last season. My goal is to be a better me than I was last year. And he said, I led in blocks last year. I believe that was for NBA rookies, and him coming off the bench, that's super impressive. And he also said, and I just want to do the same thing, be that defensive guy, but find ways to contribute on the offensive end as well. I'm really high on Daniel Gafford. He has a lot of upside. I honestly could see him being the Bulls starting center in the future if he continues to develop his game. You know, he's already a great defender. He just needs to work on his jumper and offensive game. I believe he's going to have a breakout season as well coming off the Bulls bench. And, of course, like I said, he talked about the Jim Boylen subject, and last season there was a bunch of things. You know, he got hurt versus the Mavs, and Jim Boylen didn't call a timeout for God knows why. You know, Rick Carlisle, you know, the Mavs head coach, had to call a timeout to get an injured Bulls player off the court. It was just a bad look. And Daniel Gafford said he talked to Jim Boylen after he made those critical comments about Jim Boylen live on Twitch before the Bulls officially fired Boylen. You know, Gafford said he wasn't trying to be mean, but it was basically constructive criticism in my opinion. You know, no matter what, he could talk so much bad things about Jim Boylen. I don't think anyone's going to bash him. If you are hurt on the floor, your head coach has to have your back and call a timeout. That situation was just, I don't even know. That situation was a mess, I'm going to be honest. And Daniel Gafford said the Chicago Bulls, you know, this is big news, especially if you guys watched the Bulls last season. Their defense, you know, it was ranked good, but it was just hard to watch at times. He said the Bulls have been using a drop coverage and pick and roll defense, and that is just great to hear. You know, last season the Bulls had a high amount of turnovers because they played this type of defense. You know, the big men didn't roll back to the center or the paint, I'd say. So our big men didn't get that many rebounds. They couldn't box out, and they just doubled the point guard on pick and rolls, and it's not a smart defense. So it's good to see that the Bulls are going back to a drop coverage with their big men. That will definitely help out Wendell, Lauri, and Daniel Gafford. And last season, Chris Paul said after playing the Chicago Bulls that the Chicago Bulls were the only team on defense that would switch on ball screens. And Daniel Gafford, you know, said today on the Bulls YouTube Live that it's changing this season and the Bulls are going to drop in and out of pick and rolls. You know, that's a true game changer. It's going to help out the Bulls defense and our big men a lot. Just a small change can help the Bulls so much. You know, that whole defense with Jim Boylen just wasn't smart. And it was honestly, you know, like I said, it had the Bulls defense ranked up high. We were getting turnovers, but at the end of the games, teams were just abusing it because the Bulls didn't make any adjustments. So I'm really happy the Bulls are done with that. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed today's little update video. Like I said, it's the final day of training camp. Definitely check out all my past videos of training camp with all news and recaps. You know, tomorrow is the first day of group workouts. I'm going to have a video out for that as well. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.